What's going on, guys? Jacoborth back here with another video of Jacob's Life in Vegas, coming to you guys with a question video today. And I'm going to be doing more of these question videos in the future, so be sure to subscribe down below if you guys haven't done so yet. So I enjoy doing these questions every so often, talking about Vegas or talking about, Nevada in general. And I really enjoy, getting to talk to you guys about this and getting to hear some of your answers you put in the comments section that you guys, say, because some of you give like a really great in-depth analysis on questions like these. So I enjoy reading the comments, hearing what you guys have to say, and seeing the engagement down below. So today I'm going to talk about something about the future of Vegas in terms of technology, and I want to talk about driverless cars. That's what I want to talk about. This is probably fairly fitting because the CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, just finished here in Las Vegas. One of the biggest conventions every single year here in Las Vegas. It's pretty much related to all things technology. So driverless cars is a popular topic. And also, just recently in the news, the other day, some of you probably saw it, the taxi company Frias is going to be selling and closing up their operation here. I think they're trying to finish it up by March or April, somewhere around there. So it's a taxi company closing up here in Las Vegas. So this idea kind of spurred a little bit from the video about the bullet train going from Las Vegas to Southern California, talking about that video, because some of you mentioned driverless cars in the comments section of that video. So I want to talk about, the driverless cars. And when those eventually become really mainstream and really common, across the U.S., how that's going to affect Las Vegas. Because Las Vegas, I think, is going to get hit in a really big way when it comes to driverless cars. And I think it's going to happen. Let's talk from a couple angles, okay? First one I'll talk to you guys about is from the tourist perspective, right? So tourists can come here. Let's say driverless cars are more mainstream, they're more common, and you can get in the car, you can just go to sleep in the car, and the car can drive itself to a destination. That's going to be big for tourism coming here to Las Vegas, because think if, you live in LA, you live in Southern California, heck, you can just sleep on that, 4-hour ride now when you come here. But even people who come from longer distances to Las Vegas, think of someone who drives from Northern California, right? From Sacramento, from the Bay Area, right? A 7, 8, 9-hour drive, you could still, you could, leave Friday night, sleep in the car the whole way here. You could get here Saturday morning, have all day Saturday to do what you want here. You're getting tired, you don't need to go to a hotel. You just get back in the car and drive, 7, 8, whatever, however many hours it is, back to Northern California. You can sleep the whole way there. So I think that'll be big for people coming here, right? Even if they're doing longer distances from say from Denver, I think it's like 10 or 11 hours to drive from Denver to Las Vegas. Even if you're doing a long distance like that, when you can sleep on the way to a place, that's going to be big for people when they can sleep in their cars and not have to drive tired in their cars when they're coming to places. So that'll be big, I think, for people coming here to Las Vegas. The fact they can just sleep in their car on a long road trip if they want to do that. The other thing that's going to have a big impact, though, is you got to think about transportation companies here, right? And I mentioned that earlier with Frias taxi company selling and closing here in the next couple months, because these companies are already getting hit hard by technology over the last few years with Uber and Lyft that came here to Las Vegas. And remember, Las Vegas was one of the last markets. It was like one of the last big markets that Uber and Lyft could not crack into because the taxi companies were lobbying so hard to keep them out of Nevada. And and I knew at some point in time, the taxi companies were eventually going to lose that battle because technology is a really hard force to fight. When you got millions of people coming here and they're used to having Uber and Lyft and having it accessible, and they come here and they're like, okay, I can't get an Uber or a Lyft. You had tourists wanting it, you had locals who wanted it, because a lot of locals were fed up with taxi companies. People who live especially on the outer parts of town trying to get a ride. They just did not like the way a lot of those taxi companies operated. So the taxis have already gotten hit big time when it comes to transportation. Also, limo companies have gotten hit big time when it comes to transportation just by Uber and Lyft. I was talking to a limo driver the other day who was telling me about how much, it has just changed for limo drivers here in this city, because there will always be people who want to get a limo, right? Somebody who wants to get a ride from the airport to their hotel, they want to take a limo, right? There'll be business people coming to town. There'll always be people who want to take a limo somewhere. They want to travel a little bit in a nicer fashion. That is common. But as far as limo drivers, like being able to hang out at the front door of some of these places and say like a show gets out, a concert, any kind of event, and sometimes limo drivers, they'll just sit out there, and some people might come out and they'll be like, hey, how much is it for that limo, right? And they'll just get rides that way. They'll just pick up extra rides that way. Now, people come out of these events, they come out of these shows, and they're all just like on their phone, like looking for their Uber, looking for their Lyft, trying to find their driver. Like most people are not even thinking about limos, and especially the younger generation, right? The millennials, the ones who've really grown up with this technology, they're the ones, that use it the most. And they're also the ones that, people are upset because they think they're least likely to tip. but that's why they don't want to take a limo for, you know, 70 bucks when they can just get an Uber or Lyft for, you know, 9, 10, 11 bucks or whatever the case is. So, you know, companies like that have already been hit with Uber and Lyft. Now, even a company like Uber and Lyft, those companies will take a hit when driverless cars come and those become more popular. So, I mean, you're going to have taxi companies that are already hurting. They're going to get hit when it comes to transportation. A lot of limo companies are going to be hurt. They're going to be getting hit. And now you have Uber and Lyft, those companies too, because you don't even need drivers anymore. Someone could say just sleep in the car while they're going around. Also, you can have even, you know, it gets to the point you can have like self-driving party buses, right? You don't even need anyone to drive a party bus anymore. The party bus can go to the club crawl on its own if you have the technology for it. So, I mean, the transportation industry is going to take a huge hit here when it comes to driverless cars. And another way to look at this, let's think, you know, on a larger scale, right? You know, you can talk here in Las Vegas, but I mean, just think like nationwide, how much this could impact, you know, how people live, or I should say maybe a better way to put it is where people live. So, you know, right now, a lot of people, you want to live in big cities because if you want certain high-paying jobs, you know, a lot of them you can only find in big cities. You can't find them in lots of smaller towns. You also have people who wind up moving away from a big area and they commute, right? 1 hour, 2 hours a day, whatever the case is, people who commute. But now if you have a self-driving car, and again, you can just sleep in the car, it's like, what's the incentive now to stay in a bigger city, in a bigger metro area? You may very well have more people who decide to move farther away where the cost of living is even cheaper. Although if too many people move out, it may not be as cheap. But people, you know, initially going to probably want to move away to places that are cheaper because they can wake up, get ready, and they can just hop in the car and sleep on the way here. I mean, if you lived, you know, out in Kingman, Arizona, you live in St. George, Utah, you're about a 2-hour drive from Vegas, I mean, you could do that. Wake up, get ready, hop in the car, sleep, get here, be ready, you know, be ready to go to work your shift, get in the car and just, you know, sleep on your way back home or whatever you want, and you'll do the rest of your sleep when you get home. I mean, it's going to really change the way, you know, I think people live, where they choose to live and things like that, because, you know, they're not going to have to live in a big city as much anymore. You know, it's going to be an easier drive now from the Inland Empire to Los Angeles, right, to the Central Valley, to the San Francisco Bay Area and things like that. So I think self-driving cars, they're going to have a huge impact nationwide, but here in Las Vegas, they're really going to feel a place that's so based on tourism and so based on hospitality and so many people working in jobs like that. I think they're going to wind up taking a pretty big hit when self-driving cars become, you know, mainstream across the country. So I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. This is just an interesting topic that I wanted to bring up. I thought was pretty appropriate given, you know, what's taking place here locally in Las Vegas. So if you guys want to talk to me over on Clarity, link down below. I've had numerous conversations on there that have all gone great with people. If you guys want to support me on Patreon, link down below for that as well. And for those of you looking to travel to Las Vegas, my link for the 50 best tips for 2019, that sheet down below for that as well. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I'm Jacob. This is My Life in Vegas.